You trust the dairy aisle. It is meant to be the sanctuary of the supermarket, wholesome, calcium-rich and vital for gut health. You grab a 4-pack for the children's packed lunches, or a large tub for breakfast, believing you are making a responsible choice. That trust is being weaponized against you. The reality inside those pots is not natural goodness. It is a toxic cocktail of modified starches, industrial gums, and aggressive sweeteners designed to trick your metabolism. While the label screams 0% fat or real fruit, the lab results tell a darker story. We are talking about pots with more sugar than a bag of sweets, and fruit layers that have never seen a tree, colored with crushed insects and petrochemical dyes. Why are ingredients used to manufacture glues finding their way into your morning bowl? Today, the lid is lifted on the deception. We are exposing the 7 British yogurt brands that belong in the bin, not your body. Watch closely, because number 1 is the nation's favorite healthy snack, and it is silently destroying your health. Number 7. COYO. For the allergy community, the label dairy-free is not a lifestyle preference. It is a safety mechanism. COYO has turned that mechanism into a lethal game of chance. You pay a premium price for what you believe is a safe, ethical product, but recent legal actions suggest a terrifying reality. According to ABC News, this brand is embroiled in significant legal and financial disputes over dairy contamination that allegedly led to a death. A lawsuit claims that a COYO product, explicitly marketed as safe for the dairy-averse contained milk protein. A consumer with a dairy allergy reportedly died after consuming it. This is the ultimate betrayal. When a brand builds its entire identity on being free from allergens, a single trace of contamination is not an accident. It is a catastrophic failure of duty. This is not an isolated whisper either. In 2018, the UK saw a mass recall of COYO products due to undeclared milk contamination. The industry knows about these risks, yet the pots remain on the shelves, inviting you to take a gamble with your life. While you think you are making a healthy swap, you are spooning up nearly pure saturated fat, 7 times the recommended upper limit in some instances. It is nutritionally hollow. Real yogurt provides bone-building calcium and essential protein. COYO provides almost neither. It is a high-calorie grease trap that mimics the texture of food but delivers none of the structural benefits your body needs. Users even report a grim, crusty texture forming on the rims of the tubs, a visceral sign of the product's instability. High risk, low nutrient, and allegedly lethal consequences. Why is this still in your fridge? Number 6. Actimel by Danone Yogurt. The label promises immunity. The laboratory reveals a chemical cocktail. It is the ultimate health-washing deception. Millions of British families start their day with this miniature bottle, believing it to be a shield against illness. It is not. It is a textbook Nova A4 ultra-processed product designed to exploit health anxiety for profit. The deception begins with the texture. A quality yogurt derives its thickness from fermented milk and live cultures. Actimel does not trust nature. Instead, the ingredients list reveals modified tapioca starch. This is a chemically altered industrial additive widely used in manufacturing to bind heavy glues. In your food, it serves one purpose: to mimic a creamy mouthfeel in a product that has been watered down to the point of irrelevance. You are not consuming a rich, cultured dairy product. You are drinking a thinned-out liquid that has been artificially thickened with processed starch to fool your tongue. It adds 0 nutritional value. It allows the manufacturer to slash costs by using less milk while charging you a premium. The nutritional profile is even more alarming. A standard 100 grams measure of this health shot can harbour over 10 grams of sugar. That is a higher concentration of sugar than you would find in a standard can of Coca-Cola. You are effectively dosing your system with a metabolic time bomb before you have even left the house. Do not think the 0% fat or 0% added sugar versions are the safe swap. They are arguably worse. To compensate for the lack of fat, Danone injects a slurry of artificial sweeteners like sucralose. The irony is grotesque. A product marketed specifically for gut health is laced with synthetic compounds that researchers warn may disrupt the delicate gut microbiome you are trying to protect. This brand's history suggests a disturbing lack of care. Danone has faced massive contamination recalls in other global markets, such as the Yo Crunch scandal in the United States, where consumers found plastic shards embedded in the yogurt. It establishes a pattern of physical contamination risks that should terrify any parent. Look closely at the ingredient hierarchy. The top 3 components in many flavors are yogurt, skimmed milk, and liquid sugar. You are paying an extortionate price for a thimble-sized shot of dextrose solution and starch. It is not a nutritional supplement. It is liquid confectionery masquerading as medicine. Put it back on the shelf. The Food Standards Agency stamped a definitive "do not eat" order on this product. That is not a suggestion. It is a siren. When a regulatory body issues a recall of that magnitude, it means the manufacturing process has suffered a catastrophic failure. Yet, millions of British parents blindly pack these tubes into school lunchboxes every single morning, assuming they are safe. In January 2022, that assumption was proven dangerous. Yoplait United Kingdom was forced to recall their Froobs variety packs, specifically the strawberry, red berry, and peach flavours, because the production line had contaminated the yogurt with metal. The contamination speaks to a broader culture of negligence within the company. This is a brand that has consistently prioritized profit over product integrity. Look at their Greek yogurt controversy. They were hit with a lawsuit because the product they sold as Greek did not meet the legal definition. Genuine Greek yogurt is strained to remove whey, creating a naturally thick, protein-rich food. Yoplait's version was standard, watery yogurt thickened artificially with milk protein concentrate and starch. They mimicked the texture of quality with cheap fillers, then slapped a premium label on the pot. It is a calculated deception. They counterfeit the density of real food using industrial thickeners. If they are willing to fake the texture of their flagship yogurt to save pennies on straining, it is no surprise that their quality control allows metal fragments to slip into the snacks intended for your children. Do not gamble with a company that cannot distinguish between a calcium snack and a bag of bolts. If you have these in your fridge, do not open them. Throw them in the bin. If this pot is powered by plants, why does it require a degree in chemistry to understand the ingredients list? Alpro has successfully hijacked the health conversation, positioning itself as the virtuous, ethical alternative to dairy. But under the microscope, the natural facade dissolves into a murky sludge of industrial processing. You are not eating simple fermented plants. You are consuming a Group 4 ultra-processed food. Because soya and almond milk lack the natural protein structure of dairy, they cannot thicken naturally into yogurt. To force these watery liquids into a marketable texture, Alpro relies on a heavy-handed cocktail of emulsifiers, stabilizers, and modified starches. Turn the tub around. You will find a laundry list of agents like modified starch, pectins, guar gum, gellan gum, and locust bean gum. These are not food, they are non-digestible polysaccharides. In the industrial world, Similar compounds are used to thicken cosmetic lotions and drilling fluids. Alpro uses them to trick your tongue into thinking you are eating cream, when you are actually eating a suspension of vegetable oil and gum. The irony is sickening. You likely buy this brand to soothe a sensitive stomach or to avoid the bloat of dairy. Yet, these very gums are potent gut irritants. For consumers with IBS or sensitive digestion, these additives act like a bomb in the bowel. They ferment rapidly, causing severe gas, painful distension, and digestive distress. You are paying a premium to poison your own gut biome with additives that the human body struggles to break down. Do not be fooled by the green leaf on the logo or the plant-based halo. This is a highly engineered, synthetic product designed to survive a supply chain, not to nourish your cells. If you want plants, eat plants. If you want a chemistry experiment that mimics the texture of food, keep buying Alpro. Number 3, Yeo Valley. The label depicts a serene, singular family farm in the heart of Somerset. The logistical reality is a sprawling industrial complex pumping out white noise for the highest bidder. Yeo Valley is not just a brand, it is a factory for hire, and the organic halo is slipping. You are paying a premium for a rural fantasy that hides a mass production nightmare. In 2016, the facade cracked wide open. A catastrophic failure on the production line forced a massive recall. The contaminant was rubber. Pieces of industrial machinery had disintegrated into the yogurt, posing a choking hazard to the public. But here is the smoking gun the industry tried to bury. The recall did not just affect Yeo Valley pots. It wiped out shelves at Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda, Waitrose, and the Co-op. Do you understand what this reveals? It exposes the industry's dirtiest secret. The luxury Yeo Valley pot you pay a premium for comes off the exact same conveyor belt as the budget supermarket own brand versions. You are not paying for better ingredients, you are paying for a greener logo. It is the same vat, the same factory, and the same rubber contamination. The illusion of exclusivity is a complete fraud. Consumers are reporting that the deception continues today. Open a pot of their Greek-style yogurt, and you are often met with a watery, milk-like slurry rather than a thick, set product. This is a hallmark of temperature abuse and rushed fermentation. To hit massive volume targets, the forensic evidence suggests they are cutting the biological clock, stopping the culture before it has properly thickened. You are buying expensive organic milk soup. Even the sourcing is a gamble. They admit to pooling milk from a vast network of farms, not just their own. This destroys the consistency of the product. One batch might be acceptable, the next is swill. You are playing a lottery with your breakfast. When you combine inconsistent slime with a history of feeding customers rubber, the organic price tag feels less like an investment in health and more like a robbery. Number 2, Milbona yogurt. Twice in under a year, the alarms were raised. This is not a case of a single rogue batch. It is a pattern of industrial negligence that puts physical hazards on your breakfast table. Milbona, the budget darling of the dairy aisle, is a repeat offender for foreign body contamination. In April 2019, the warning went out. 1 litre tubs of semi-skimmed vanilla yogurt were recalled after metal particles were discovered inside. Consumers were literally spooning jagged industrial waste into their mouths. You might think a disaster of that magnitude would trigger a total overhaul of their safety protocols. You would be wrong. Fast forward to February 2020. Less than 10 months later, the sirens blared again. This time, the contamination was even more widespread, affecting the light, fat, free-range strawberry, raspberry, and cranberry. The warning was identical: small pieces of metal. This is a systemic failure. When you buy this brand, you are entering a lottery where the losing ticket is a perforated esophagus or a damaged bowel. But the danger is not just physical, it is chemical. The light range is a masterclass in the aspartame trap. To achieve that healthy low-calorie claim, while stripping out the fat, Milbona has to fake the flavor. They do this by injecting the pot with aspartame. Check the label on their Greek-style lemon. It is there in black and white. In 2023, the WHO's Cancer Research Agency flagged aspartame as a possible carcinogen. You are trading natural fat, something your body can actually metabolize, for a synthetic sweetener linked to metabolic disruption and potential cancer risks. And do not be fooled by the Greek-style branding. Real Greek yogurt is strained and protein-dense. This is a counterfeit emulsion. Consumers repeatedly report a liquidy texture that bears no resemblance to the real thing. It is standard, watery yogurt, thickened with additives and sweetened with chemicals, masquerading as a premium health product. Muller, light and fit. The label touts guilt-free. Toxicology reports suggest a chemical assault on your internal organs. For decades, this brand has had a vice-like grip on British diet culture. It is the staple of the office fridge and the slimming club. But you are not eating yogurt. You are consuming a thickened suspension of laboratory-grade sweeteners designed to fool your brain and wreck your gut. To strip away the fat while keeping that sickly sweetness, Muller relies on a controversial binary weapon of additives, aspartame and acesulfame potassium, known in industry as ACE-K. You need to understand what you are actually spooning into your mouth. In July 2023, the World Health Organization Cancer Research Agency, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, classified aspartame as Group 2B, possibly carcinogenic to humans. While you are counting calories, this product is delivering a compound flagged by global authorities as a potential cancer risk. Regulators may still allow it, but your body knows the difference between food and a threat. Then there is ACE-K. This is not a nutrient. It is a synthetic chemical structure that your body cannot metabolize. It passes through you, harming the delicate ecosystem of your gut. Emerging studies from 2024 have linked this compound to severe microbiome dysbiosis. You are effectively destroying healthy bacteria in your stomach, the very bacteria responsible for immunity and digestion, just to avoid a gram of fat. It is a fraudulent trade-off. The zero-fat claim is a distraction technique. By removing the fat, they remove the satiety. Your body gets no real fuel, only chemical signals that confuse your insulin response. The result is that you feel empty, you crave more sugar, and you perpetuate the cycle. This pot is not a treat. It is a metabolic disruptor disguised in colorful packaging. The industry calls it light. A forensic look at the ingredients list reveals it is heavy with risk. Do not let the 0% fat banner distract you from the 100% artificial deception inside. If you care about your long-term health, leave this on the shelf. The evidence is undeniable. From lethal allergen contamination to jagged metal fragments, the dairy aisle has become a minefield. Did you know these healthy snacks were silently poisoning your family? Check your fridge immediately. If you find them, bin them. Will you ever trust these brands again? Tell us in the comments below. The industry relies on your ignorance, and we rely on your vigilance. Subscribe now for the unvarnished truth.